Hi everyone, welcome once again to Connecting the Dots, the platform where we don't just scratch the surface, we dig deep, ask the hard question and peel back the layers of truths. I am Ibrahim your host, your brother and your companion on this journey of truths, reason and radical reflection. Now, if you have been riding with us, you already know this is not just another program. This is a movement, a sanctuary for critical minds and bold voices, a place where assumptions are questioned, narrative are unmasked, and illusions are shattered. But if this is your first time, I ask you, what are you waiting for? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell like it is a call to national awakening, because that's exactly what it is. At Connecting the Dot, we don't tariff in gossip or follow the noise. We connect history to headline, emotion to evidence, and passion to purpose. This is a platform where ordinary people become extraordinary thinkers. Let the dots begin to connect. Let the truth echo louder than propaganda, and let's chart a new path together. Welcome back to Connecting the Dot. For Connecting the Dot is more than just a program, but a movement. On today's episode, we will discuss on something important to Africa, Ibrahim Traoré's meeting with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. What does the discussion entails, and what does it mean to the continent of Africa? In the grand halls of Kremlin, under the cool shadow of Moscow's old empire, President Vladimir Putin received a guest from the blazing Sahel. Not from France this time, not from America, but from Africa, from Burkina Faso, young, defiant, and unapologetic Pan-African Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old leader of a land too often forgotten, stood tall before the Russian strongman, a soldier among suits, a symbol of the continent's shifting tides. Putin smiled, Traoré nodded, and in that moment a new chapter opened. Unwritten, uncertain, but undeniable. Please listen to this.
Mr. President, I hope I pronounced my felicitation properly. For me, it was an honor to be part of these commemorative events devoted to the great victory anniversary, and I would like to thank you for inviting us. It was a great honor for us. And I need to say that during this visit, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about culture, about history, that laid the foundation of the resistance of the Russian people, of its struggle. I learned of sacrifices your people made, and due to these sacrifices, we are free now. And I would like to thank you once again for this invitation, and this meeting allows us to think about what's happening in the world today and to think about the prospects as well. The obstacles that we can see today must not stop us. These obstacles, in some way, they are even an advantage, because despite all the sanctions that were imposed on the Russian Federation by many states, Russia is still holding the leading position internationally, and we understand this, we understand how difficult it is. And I watched the parade, I watched the soldiers marching in front of us during the parade. I saw the equipment, including the tanks that from the times of World War II, and I saw the modern equipment, and we would like to see the cooperation between our countries developing rapidly, developing swiftly, and acquire new shapes and forms. We thank you for your attitude towards Burkina Faso. Today I visited Mendeleev Institute, and we understand that apart from defense and security, there is another essential field, which is science and education, and we would like to see Russia assisting us in training and educating our youth to help us to develop our own industries, our own enterprises, machinery, other types of manufacturing, because it's very important for Africa. We believe that terrorism that we can see today is a legacy of imperialism, and that's something that we fight against. If we put an end to this war, if we have a strong army, then we can develop our motherland. This is why we continue to fight. That is why we have this struggle. That's why it's important to train personnel, to educate people. In Africa, Africa needs a lot when it comes to equipment, when it comes to technology and machinery, and there are a lot of expectations in this regard. And that's why we still need to do a lot, we need to work a lot, and we would like to request an assistant, and the most important thing you can help with is this exchanges, transfers of technology, exchange of experience. We need to understand how we can use the experience and the know-how that Russian universities have, and how we can spread it to Burkina Faso, how we can open branches of the Russian universities and Burkina Faso to be more efficient in the way we educate our people, our citizens. This is the essential task that we are faced with. We would like to see Burkina Faso developing, and we would like to see students coming to us to learn various sciences. We can see great young people in the Russian Federation. Among them, there are a lot of researchers, young scientists, and we would like to learn from you. And another important area is military. We have a lot of projects in the field of defense.
Officially, it was diplomacy. Putin thanked Traoré for visiting Moscow. He praised cooperation, he spoke of mutual interest, and emphasized Russia's readiness to strengthen ties with Burkina Faso. But beneath the formalities lies a deeper current. This meeting was not about mere protocol. It was about posture, about power, about the tectonic alignment of global alliances and African place within it. For decades, the global narrative told us who to trust and who to fear. Moscow was danger, Paris was savior, Washington was mentor. But now Africa is rewriting the script, and Traoré, in his signature barrette and revolutionary aura, is fast becoming one of its boldest actors. To understand this moment, we must understand what brought us here. Burkina Faso is not just facing a security crisis. It is in a crisis of sovereignty. Terrorists have displaced millions. Foreign troops came and left. Promises were made but not kept. France, the old colonial gatekeeper, was asked to leave, and when it did, many in Ouagadougou cheered. They saw not abandonment but liberation. In the vacuum, equation emerged. Who then shall we call friend? And Moscow answered, not with sermons, but with soldiers, not with textbooks, but with tactics. Russia, through its military and diplomatic network, is filling a void left by the West. Critics call it exploitation. Supporters call it balance, but no one can call it irrelevance. In Ibrahim Traoré, Russia sees something real, youthful defiance with popular backing. To his people, he is not just a president. He is a symbol, a rebel against neocolonialism, a voice that speaks not in diplomatic double speak, but with fire. He speaks of African unity, of sovereign defense, of building schools and not bases, of using gold for hospitals, not offshore accounts. And while his critics warn of creeping authoritarianism, his supporters chant his name in the streets, not because they are blind, but because they are tired. tired of leaders who bow before bowing is demanded. In meeting Putin, Traoré sent a message that Burkina Faso will choose its friends, that Africa will not be a pawn on someone else's chessboard. Make no mistake, Putin is not driven by charity, he sees opportunity. Africa offers vote at the United Nations. It offers access to minerals. It offers terrain where soft powers can grow. But unlike the West, Russia does not preach democracy while arming disputes. It does not offer it rap in lectures, it deals in real politics. And many African states, born by broken promises, now prefer brutal honesty to polite betrayal. This is not an endorsement, it is an observation. For decades, the West shaped Africa's image of power. Now Russia is shaping its options. But here is the truth, my brothers and sisters. Whether we shake hands in Paris, Washington, or Moscow, we must never forget who we are. Africa must engage, yes, but with wisdom. We cannot swap one master for another. We must not replace dependency with dependency. We must not confuse alliance with surrender. The solution is not east or west. It is forward. We must build a system that serves the people, not the interests of capital, not the ambition of global empires, but the dreams of African children who still sleep hungry while our leaders fly first class to summits that serve none. The Traoré-Putin meeting is not just a political event. It is a psychological shift. For years, Africa have been treated as a spectator in global affairs. Now it is becoming a player. That comes with responsibility. We must define what kind of future we want. A future of dignity, of innovation, of pan-African collaboration, where we produce what we consume, where our soldiers defend our borders, not foreign oil pipelines. Let us not be dazzled by the flags. Let us be driven by the facts. Burkina Faso does not need a new master. It needs stability, self-sufficiency, and leadership that's listening more than it lectures. Do not let the noise fool you. This is our Africa, not theirs. Question everything. Read between the lines. Praise Traoré for his courage, but hold him accountable too. Know that true liberation is not just about who we stand with, but what we stand for. Power without purpose is just theater. But power with vision, that is nation building. From Dakar to Dar es Salaam, from Kinshasa to Kigali, take notes. Africa is no longer just reacting to the world. We are beginning to shape it. But will we shape it with wisdom, with unity, with a sense of purpose, or will we repeat the old game with new players and new chains? The choice is ours. As Putin thanked Traoré in the Kremlin, the world watched with curiosity. But Africa must watch with clarity. This is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of a test of leadership, of sovereignty, of strategy. Let us not be seduced by symbolism. Let us build substance. Let this handshake not just echo in Moscow marble halls, but inspire 1,000 conversations in African homes, markets, and classrooms. The age of quiet obedience is over. Africa is speaking loudly, boldly, and relentlessly. Let us be clear. The Traoré-Putin handshake is not salvation. It is a signal that Africa is no longer waiting for permission to choose its future. But in the theater of geopolitics, every alliance is a double-edged sword. Russia may offer weapons, but it cannot build our schools. It may offer support, but it will not feed our people. And while the West lectures and the West courts, Africa must rise, not as a lover desperate for affection, but as a continent convinced of its own worth. This is our hour, not to pick a side, but to define our own, not to repeat history, but to rewrite it, not to trade one flag for another, but to finally fly our own with dignity, with purpose, and with pride. For if we do not seize this moment with vision, courage, and clarity, we shall remain guests in a banquet of nations, served last, spoken to, but never truly heard. So let the world take note. Africa is awake, not begging, not bowing, but building. And this time, we are not asking for a seat at the table. We are building our own. And soon, they will come knocking. So stay awake, stay aware, and most of all, stay united. This is Connecting the Dot, This is the voice of a new Africa. And I am your brother, Ibrahim Umar Wasi. Let the dots begin to connect. Until next time.